Imagine you're standing by a river, watching people trying to cross its rough waters. Some are genuinely making an effort to reach the other side, navigating the current, while others are just struggling, not even attempting to swim. As a kind person, your first instinct is to help, reach out or throw a rope to those in need. But as you continue to help, you start noticing something troubling. Some of these people aren't just failing to cross the river, they're not even trying. Worse, a few seem resentful despite your help. You take a step back and realize your kindness is being taken advantage of. You're exhausted from throwing ropes to those who don't want them or use them wrong. This is when you remember the teachings of Stoicism. Act with logic, not emotion, and direct your energy where it can be most effective. The river in this case represents life, and the people trying to cross it symbolize the different types of individuals we encounter on our journey. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy of wisdom and virtue, teaches us that while helping others is a positive act, it's also important to recognize when our efforts are being wasted. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca remind us that we must be selective in who we help. Life is short, and our resources, time, energy, and compassion are limited. If we spend all our energy helping those who neither value nor benefit from it, we miss the opportunity to make a bigger impact on those who truly need and deserve our support. This story is about understanding when it's time to stop offering help to certain types of people. Some will drag you down, drain your energy, and never appreciate your efforts. While this may be difficult, Stoicism teaches us that wisdom lies in knowing when to walk away. It's not about being indifferent or cold, but about being wise enough to see that helping certain people only worsens their problems, or, even worse, ends up harming you. In today's video, we're going to explore 8 types of people who, according to Stoic philosophy, we should think twice before helping. Choosing who to help isn't selfish. It's a way to protect yourself from negative influences and ensure your mind stays firm and at peace. Let's find out if you're wasting your kindness on these people. Number 1. The ungrateful Stoic philosophy emphasizes the value of gratitude in life. A grateful person not only shows appreciation for what they receive, but also strengthens the bond between giving and receiving within the community. An ungrateful person breaks this balance, spreading negativity and weakening the spirit of mutual help in society. Ungrateful people often fail to recognize the value of what they have and always want more, never feeling satisfied. Why does Stoicism advise us to avoid helping the ungrateful? An ungrateful person not only fails to say thank you, but may also make you feel that helping them is your duty rather than a voluntary act. Imagine helping someone and in return receiving a cold look, silence, or even criticism that your help wasn't good enough. Your kindness is not only unrecognized, but also becomes a source of frustration and disappointment. As the famous philosopher Cicero once said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others." Without gratitude, all good deeds lose their shine. Even in religion, gratitude is seen as essential. Jesus Christ in the Bible constantly spoke about the importance of being grateful and forgiving. One of the most striking stories is when he healed 10 lepers, but only one returned to give thanks. He asked, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner?" This shows that even in the noblest acts, there are people who don't show gratitude, and it's these individuals who take away the beauty of forgiveness. If Jesus, who was always willing to give and forgive, also recognized the importance of gratitude, why shouldn't we do the same? Helping the ungrateful only drains our energy and time, which could be spent on those who truly deserve it. In modern life, situations like these are common. Think of that coworker who always asks for help but never thanks you, or that relative who constantly expects financial support but never shows gratitude or tries to improve their situation. These situations often leave us frustrated and drained. The question is, should we keep helping these people, knowing that our assistance only makes them more dependent and takes them further away from life's true values? Therefore, instead of wasting your time and energy on ungrateful people, seek out those who know how to value your help and use it to move forward in life. This is the right way to spread Stoic values. When we help someone, we usually expect gratitude, not necessarily something material, but at least simple recognition of the effort we've made. However, some people respond with ingratitude. Helping the ungrateful is like filling a broken vase. No matter how much you pour, it will never hold. Stoicism teaches that we should act with virtue, not to receive recognition. But that doesn't mean we should allow people who ignore our help to drain us. In our daily lives, consider the example of a friend who asks for money. You lend it not expecting anything in return, but because you care. However, when it's time to repay, they neither pay back nor express gratitude and still ask for more. It's a dead-end road. Stoicism encourages us to help others when it's in harmony with reason and virtue. But we also need to be mindful of those who never show gratitude. In the workplace, helping an ungrateful colleague may result in more work for you and no improvement in the professional relationship. That colleague will likely continue to rely on you without ever showing appreciation or offering help in return. Number 2, the lazy person. In Stoic philosophy, acting with intention and using time wisely is one of the pillars of life. The well-known Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you waste your time, you'll never get it back." This message emphasizes the importance of every moment in life, and that's why lazy people don't deserve our help. Laziness isn't just doing nothing, it's avoiding taking meaningful actions. Lazy people, instead of facing reality and fulfilling their obligations, choose the easy way out by avoiding, delaying, and surrendering to circumstances. They not only harm themselves, but also waste the time and energy of those who genuinely want to help them improve. A real-life example could be that friend who always complains about life, work, or the difficulties they face. Every time you talk to them, the conversation revolves around their inability to get out of the situation they're in. You patiently listen and even offer practical solutions, like finding a new job, learning a new skill, or changing their environment. But over time, you realize they haven't acted on any of your advice. Instead, they remain stuck in their complaints, lacking any motivation to act. Why does this happen? Because they've become comfortable avoiding responsibility and waiting for others to solve their problems. Today, these people show up in various forms, from those who constantly expect others to fix their problems, to those who always complain about their circumstances but never take steps to improve. A common example is someone who relies financially on family or friends, always finding excuses not to face life's challenges on their own. This doesn't just exhaust others, but also leads them deeper into laziness and lack of initiative. However, we also need to ask ourselves, is laziness something natural, or is it a result of circumstances and upbringing? This raises a larger question about ethics and responsibility. Should we always abandon them, or is there a way to motivate them to change? Each person must answer this according to the specific situation, but one thing is clear: no one can save a lazy person if they don't want to save themselves. In short, lazy people are those who refuse to grow, act, and end up betraying others' trust. Stoic philosophy teaches us to value our time and energy, avoiding wasting it on those who don't deserve it. Ask yourself, are you helping a lazy person without seeing any change? If so, stop, because your time is too valuable for that. Stoicism emphasizes personal responsibility and hard work. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that each person is responsible for their own actions and growth. Helping someone who refuses to help themselves, who prefers to remain stuck instead of facing challenges, is pointless. It's like pushing a car in neutral. No matter how hard you try, the car won't move without the engine's own power. In friendships, a lazy friend might always ask for help with projects, advice, or favors. You become their support. They don't need your help to succeed, but use your efforts to avoid taking any action on their own. Continuing to help this person prevents them from developing the initiative or discipline needed to grow. In the workplace, helping a lazy colleague can create an imbalance. Others might notice that this person isn't pulling their weight, but you end up taking on their tasks. This causes resentment and, worse, encourages the lazy colleague to keep relying on others without developing their own skills or work ethic. Now let's move on to the third type of person. But before we do, let me ask you, have you ever wondered if everyone really deserves help, even if they never take responsibility for their actions? This question leads us to reflect on the third type of person, the irresponsible one. Irresponsible people aren't just those who can't complete their task correctly, but also those who avoid dealing with the consequences of their actions, leaving others to handle the mess they create. Stoics believe that helping these people is not only a waste of effort, but can also keep us from finding inner peace and freedom. Irresponsible people fail to realize that their actions affect not only themselves, but the entire community. A modern example involves those who break the law, but escape the consequences of their actions. They might drive recklessly, disregard rules, or avoid their obligations, causing harm to innocent people. Unfortunately, this lack of responsibility is sometimes forgiven, and society pays the price. Stoic philosophy teaches us to think carefully before helping someone. Helping an irresponsible person only allows them to continue down the path of immorality. This not only harms that person, but also devalues our efforts and kindness. Helping someone who refuses to be responsible doesn't encourage their growth, but instead reinforces their stagnation and bad behavior. A common example in life is irresponsible leaders who avoid taking responsibility for the decisions they make. In many organizations, when a leader refuses to admit their mistakes, the entire team and company suffer the consequences. This leads to a loss of trust, confusion, and even system collapse. Imagine a leader who doesn't have the courage to admit their mistakes. Would employees still trust them and give their best? Stoicism doesn't teach us to be cold or distant, but to carefully choose who deserves our help. Jesus also once said, "Do not cast your pearls before swine." This means that we shouldn't waste valuable things on those who don't appreciate them. Help, kindness, and support are like life's pearls. If we offer them to irresponsible people, they'll be ignored and wasted. Life is made of meaningful actions, and each action comes with responsibility. How can we expect progress if we're not willing to take responsibility for our actions? Irresponsible people not only reject personal responsibility, but also weaken trust and connections in society. As someone who follows Stoic philosophy, be cautious when offering help. And remember that helping doesn't mean rescuing the irresponsible, but rather creating opportunities for them to learn to face their responsibilities. Helping irresponsible people is like trying to build a house on quicksand. No matter how well you do it, the foundation will always give way to poor choices. Stoicism encourages us to act with wisdom and discernment, qualities that irresponsible people often lack. They don't learn from their mistakes, and worse, often drag others into the problems they create. In family life, helping an irresponsible sibling or relative might involve repeatedly bailing them out of financial trouble or covering up their bad decisions. You might think you're being supportive, but in reality, you're allowing them to remain irresponsible. By always solving their problems, you remove the need for them to face the consequences of their actions, blocking their growth. In the workplace, a boss or colleague who constantly makes mistakes might rely on you to clean up the mess. While you might help once or twice out of goodwill, continually fixing their errors will eventually wear you down. Stoics believed in self-discipline and personal responsibility. People who repeatedly show irresponsibility don't follow these principles, and helping them doesn't contribute to their development. Number 4, the manipulators. Have you ever felt like someone was controlling you, whether at work, home, or even in close relationships? These people rarely make clear requests, but through subtle manipulation of emotions and situations, they lead us to do what they want without us even realizing it. Stoic philosophy, which values self-control and the ability to not be swayed by harmful emotions, suggests that helping manipulators can be one of the biggest mistakes we can make. Observing real-life situations, we see many public figures who have fallen into the hands of manipulators. A well-known example is Britney Spears. She was controlled by her own father for over a decade through a conservatorship. Her father not only managed her finances, but also made decisions about her personal life and career. Britney lived for years without being able to make her own decisions, which caused her significant mental anguish. This situation sparked the Free Britney movement, where millions of people came together to support her and help her regain her freedom. In this context, would it be right to support the manipulator, her father? Stoic philosophy teaches us that we must have control over our posture, values, and emotions. Helping someone like Britney's father would only strengthen the manipulator, while the victim, like Brittany, would lose even more of her autonomy. According to Stoic teachings, our kindness needs to be aligned with wisdom. When dealing with a manipulator, it's important not to let empathy blind us, but to see the person for who they truly are. In relationships, we also see this type of control where one person uses emotions to keep the other trapped, creating feelings of guilt or fear when their desires aren't met. If we remain in such a relationship, are we really helping or are we hurting ourselves? In the end, Stoicism teaches us that true freedom comes from controlling our own actions and thoughts. By not helping manipulators, we protect ourselves from losing that freedom. Our help should always encourage growth and not turn us into victims of someone who only seeks to exploit. Manipulators twist situations to benefit themselves, while pretending to act in your best interest. Helping a manipulator is like handing over the keys to your house to a thief, who will use your resources for their own gain, leaving you with nothing. Stoicism values honesty and integrity, but manipulators thrive on deception. In relationships, manipulators may use your goodwill against you, making you feel guilty for not helping them. They present themselves as victims, and over time, this subtle control diminishes your ability to think clearly and rationally. Stoics warn us to protect our kindness from those who distort it for their own benefit, as this compromises our ability to act justly. In the workplace, manipulators often convince you to do their work and then take the credit while you are left with the exhaustion. Helping this type of person only increases their power to exploit others and weakens your own ability to act justly. We want to thank you for making it halfway through today's video. The fact that you're still here shows your commitment to your growth journey. Now reflect on the next types of people as you continue on this path of self-development. Number 5, the chronic critics. Have you ever felt surrounded by people who always have something negative to say, no matter what you do? They seem to always find something to criticize, even when you're doing your best. In Stoic philosophy, we learn to deal with these chronic critics. Chronic critics see the world through a negative lens. They aren't interested in helping. They just want to spread their dissatisfaction. They always look for flaws, no matter how small, and their intention is to bring others down, not contribute constructively. Stoicism teaches us to differentiate between useful criticism and that which only brings negativity. Constructive criticism comes from those who truly want to see you improve. Chronic criticism, however, is born out of frustration and ill will. Many chronic critics do this out of insecurity. When they see the success or happiness of others, they feel threatened and therefore criticize to feel better. Will trying to help a chronic critic make a difference? The reality is you can't change someone who doesn't want to change. These critics aren't open to improvement. Their goal is to maintain their cycle of negativity. In the workplace, a good leader provides guidance to help their employees grow. But a leader who only criticizes without offering solutions demotivates the team, which can even hurt the company's progress. It's important to understand that we can't please everyone, and it's crucial to be selective about who deserves our attention and effort. Stoicism teaches us to protect ourselves from negative influences, and chronic critics are a perfect example. They don't seek change, they just want to keep their negative worldview. We should save our energy for those who are willing to evolve and grow. In friendships, chronic critics may always devalue your ideas or actions. Even when you help them, they find faults in everything you do, draining your energy and making you doubt yourself. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and trying to please someone who only knows how to criticize is a pointless effort. At work, dealing with a chronic critic is frustrating. No matter how well you do a task, they will always find something wrong. Constructive criticism is valuable, but chronic critics aren't interested in seeing improvements. Stoicism guides us to act for the common good, but the constant negativity of chronic critics only generates dissatisfaction. Join the conversation in the comments. Have you ever helped someone and felt like your effort was in vain? We want to hear your experiences. Number 6, the narcissists. Have you ever wondered if it's worth helping someone who thinks they are the center of the universe, only caring about themselves while ignoring others? Narcissists not only crave attention, they expect everything to revolve around them. According to Stoic philosophy, helping narcissists is pointless and can even harm you. Narcissists are so immersed in their self-admiration that they can't admit mistakes or confront their flaws. They only want to hear compliments and distance themselves from anyone who criticizes or tries to advise them. This makes any external help useless, as it's not received with an open mind for growth. Imagine trying to help someone realize they need to change their behavior to succeed, but instead of listening, that person believes they're already perfect. Would you still want to help? Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Helping a narcissist won't change their view of themselves or the world around them. They'll see it as another confirmation of their inflated ego. Not only does this diminish the value of your help, but it also strengthens the narcissist's stubbornness and arrogance. Nowadays, narcissists appear in various settings, from personal relationships to public situations. They dominate conversations and turn every situation into an opportunity to showcase their inflated ego. For example, in a group of friends, a narcissist often overshadows others, constantly boasting about their achievements and rarely showing interest in the feelings or opinions of anyone else. As a result, relationships become unbalanced and distant, as friends no longer feel valued by the narcissist. When dealing with narcissists, Stoic philosophy guides us to remain calm and not get swept away by their arrogance. No amount of kindness or support will fill the void inside them. Narcissists aren't seeking change or growth. They want unconditional admiration. Therefore, be careful when choosing whom to help. Remember that true help isn't just about giving, but also guiding others to recognize the right path. Narcissists, with their closed hearts and minds full of pride, cannot learn this lesson. They don't deserve your effort. We've just analyzed the narcissistic profile, one of the types of people who shouldn't receive help. Now we want to introduce another equally negative type of person that Stoic philosophy suggests we should avoid: the opportunists. Opportunists aren't just ungrateful. They're always looking to benefit from others, even in the most complicated situations. For these people, offering help isn't just a waste of time, it's a way to encourage unethical behavior. Let's continue exploring why opportunists shouldn't be helped in the next part of the video. Number 7, the opportunists. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true value lies in living according to moral principles and maintaining virtue. Opportunists don't follow the values of sincerity and honesty. They take advantage of others' help solely to achieve their own goals without caring about who helped them. Helping them not only harms us, but also contributes to the deterioration of society's values. Opportunists often appear in situations where they can gain more than they deserve. They don't contribute effort, don't share responsibilities, but are always present to reap the rewards of others' successes. For example, at work, an opportunist might avoid meetings, escape responsibilities. But when success comes, they're the first to show up to collect the rewards. They don't build anything, but they always know how to benefit from others' work. The question is, should we help someone who only seeks personal gain without contributing to the common good? If we continue to help these people, are we really promoting their growth or just encouraging their unethical behavior? By helping an opportunist, we not only fail to see any positive change, but also feed their bad habits. By giving them opportunities they don't deserve, we inadvertently encourage their selfish behavior and push away those who truly deserve those chances. In fact, we find opportunists not only at work, but also in daily life. In community activities, for instance, it's common to see them appear when they see some personal benefit, but quickly disappear when true dedication is needed. These individuals not only weaken the team spirit, but also drain the energy of those around them. Opportunists don't deserve our help. They're not just ungrateful, but also abuse the kindness of others. Stoic philosophy teaches that kindness and help should be used responsibly. The best way to deal with an opportunist is to stop allowing them to take advantage of our goodwill. By doing so, we force them to face the consequences of their actions. In the end, kindness and help only have real value when offered to the right people. If we spend our time and effort helping opportunists, we're just promoting unethical behavior. We must protect not only ourselves, but also the noble values we stand for. Narcissists are driven by a selfish desire to manipulate situations to serve their inflated sense of importance. Helping them is like feeding a fire. it will only grow and become more destructive. Narcissists often pretend to be vulnerable or charming to gain your assistance, but their goal is to inflate their own ego, not genuinely improve or create a true connection. In personal relationships, a narcissist may pretend to need your help but rarely offers anything in return. They see others as tools to be used, not as equals to be valued. Stoicism teaches the importance of treating others with fairness and integrity, but narcissists don't reciprocate that treatment. Offering help to them only reinforces their sense of entitlement and makes you feel exploited. In the workplace, helping a narcissistic boss or colleague can be detrimental. They are quick to take credit for work they didn't do and to shift blame when something goes wrong. Stoics believed in justice and balance, but narcissists exploit those values for their own benefit. Helping a narcissist strengthens their toxic behavior and weakens your own sense of justice and balance. Number 8, the envious. In Stoic philosophy, we are guided not to waste our energy on things that aren't worth it, especially when dealing with negative types of people like the envious. Filled with resentment and comparisons, these people don't deserve our help. Envious individuals often struggle to feel happy about others' success. Instead, they feel irritated and frustrated when they see others moving ahead of them. This not only harms them, but also negatively impacts those around them. Envy is like a poison that destroys inner peace, making it hard for people to recognize their own worth as they constantly compare themselves to others. Besides harming themselves, envious people generate insecurity and negativity in the lives of those around them. The first thing we need to understand is that when trying to help an envious person, our efforts will be in vain. They won't appreciate your help. Instead, they may feel that you are highlighting their weaknesses and creating a barrier of superiority between you. Envious individuals often fail to see that the problem lies within themselves. Instead, they believe others are responsible for the injustices they feel. Therefore, even if your intentions are good, the envious person may see your support as an affront. The example of Steve Jobs and John Sculley clearly illustrates the damage caused by envy. Jobs brought Sculley to Apple with the intention of growing the company together, but Sculley's envy turned that collaboration into a rivalry. Rather than valuing and learning from Jobs, Sculley felt threatened by his talent and ended up pushing Jobs out of the very company he created. However, that misguided decision driven by envy backfired, as Jobs returned to Apple and transformed it into one of the world's biggest companies. This shows that trying to help the envious is not only pointless, but can also lead to negative consequences. Sometimes the best move is to distance yourself to protect your own peace. Trying to fill a cup with a hole in it is like trying to help an envious person. Negativity will always drain anything you try to offer. Instead of focusing on them, it's better to use your time and effort to help those who are grateful and want to grow. Ultimately, Stoic philosophy teaches us that helping others is a valuable attitude, but we must wisely choose who deserves our help to protect our balance and inner peace. What do you think about this? Is there someone in your life who you feel doesn't deserve your help? When deciding whom to help, the secret lies not just in generosity, but also in wisdom. Stoic philosophy reminds us that our energy and time are limited, and we need to protect them from negative people. Some individuals, no matter how sincere we are, will not only fail to appreciate our help, but may also harm us. Ungrateful, lazy, envious, or manipulative people often carry internal issues that only they can resolve. Our intervention, far from being helpful, may end up harming us. Remember, being kind does not mean sacrificing your peace. Sometimes the best way to uphold your values and tranquility is to deny help. Reserve your support for those who appreciate it and want to change, as this is an investment that benefits both you and them. If you like the video, comment, "I choose my peace." Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel to help spread this philosophy to more people. Together, we can make the world a better place. Consider becoming a member of the channel.